So you took an online test and you think you're an INTP, huh? Well, I've got news for you. Those tests lie more than a YouTuber during a brand deal. I've already made videos explaining why you aren't an INFJ or an INTJ, so I thought it's about time I make a video explaining why you're not an INTP either. So you can have an identity crisis. Won't that be fun? Comment down below what type I should cover next, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my future videos. I understand why you would want to be the logician. It sounds cool. It's like an electrician, but instead of keeping your AC and router running, they go around saying, well, actually, to everybody. They're just as useful. INTP stands for Introverted, Intuitive, Thinking, and Perceiving. And no doubt, a lot of people would relate with that. Like, who doesn't perceive and think? People who are in a coma? So instead of giving you a bunch of generic positive traits that everybody who isn't in a coma can relate to, I have 8 traits that if you agree with, you probably aren't an INTP. And after this video, you can go around and, well, actually, the 16 personalities test. So, let's go. You are organized. Let's be honest, INTPs would lose their head if it wasn't attached. I mean, they kind of already have. INTPs never use their bodies, so it's kind of like they're a floating around disembodied head. It's not that INTPs are lazy or dumb, it's that they just don't care. It just doesn't seem like a very productive use of time for them. Plus, organization is also really boring. You like mystery. INTPs like mystery in as far as they can solve it. While other types might be content to catch the ghost clown and not take off the mask, saying, I guess we'll never know. INTPs will yank off the mask faster than Velma can say, J. INTPs will leave no stone unturned. They need to know. Speculation and conjecture to them are like slurs. A theory is a half-eaten Reese's cup to them, and they can't let that stand. INTPs want facts. And they want to be the person to find those facts too. You call out others for overthinking. Yeah, INTPs don't do this. To INTPs, saying they're overthinking is an insult. They don't overthink. They mega overthink. Everything needs to be analyzed and dissected. Even your sacred cow. Nothing is off limits. If anything, INTPs will criticize you for not thinking enough. Not thinking is how you get Star Wars. Just float under the ship and go pew pew. You can't read social cues. This one is kind of surprising. Up until now, you've probably thought that INTPs were basement-dwelling neckbeards. That they were the kind of person who would argue that deodorant blocks their natural pheromones, and the stink will help them get chicks. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While INTPs were voted the most likely to fact-check your daydreams in high school, INTPs are surprisingly charismatic. They understand people and even like to socialize. To some extent. INTPs will never be social acolytes. But they will leave their basement dwellings once a week and shave so they can play Magic the Gathering. You're overly emotional. INTPs are like robots. They don't feel very much. Okay, obviously INTPs have emotions. They can cry, laugh, and be impulsive like everybody else. Just don't tell anybody that. An INTP who feels will lose all of their street cred. INTPs just don't want to deal with fifis. Emotions just aren't logical. People will cry when they're happy and laugh when they're nervous. This makes no sense. It's like holding up a yes sign while saying no. INTPs just don't understand why we don't lobotomize babies at birth. Appearance over function. It's weird that the female INTP avatar has heels, because that's like the least INTP shoe ever. INTPs don't care much about appearance. Like at all. They could live in a completely black and white ugly world and be happy with it. Because looks don't matter. It's what's on the inside that counts. And no INFPs, they're not talking about your heart. They're talking about your IQ score. It's all about function. Sure, my sink may look like garbage, but it still works. The fact that people would make their lives harder for beauty is nuts. Plus, it's 100% subjective. One person's brilliant masterpiece is another person's snack. If you're the kind of person to stack hundreds of pillows on your for the aesthetic just to take them off at night, INTPs hate you. You love nuance. INTPs are black and white thinkers. It's either up or down, wet or dry, and water isn't wet. Don't get me wrong, INTPs can see complexities in situations. Not everything is simple, and life is messy. But here's the thing, INTPs have a broom. Sure, things are complicated, but our goal should be to make things simpler. If we see nuance, we don't just throw our arms up in the air and say, it's complicated. We dig a little deeper. To INTPs, nuance just means you need to think about it more. You are an expert at something. INTPs are generalists. They know a little bit about a lot of things, but they don't know a lot about anything, really. INTPs are always looking to learn new stuff. They want to grow their toolbox. Problem is, once an INTP opens up a shiny new tool, they want a new one. INTPs are not the biggest fans of experts either. Coming in and saying you're an expert on something doesn't mean you're right. The more we tend to know about something, the more blind spots we get. This is why it's always helpful to have an outsider's perspective and a set of fresh eyes. INTPs know this, but experts can often overlook it. So INTPs will often remind people that professionals built the Titanic, but amateurs built the Ark. So, you don't think you're an INTP, huh? Well, the good news is you might be an INTJ. Oh wait, I have a video explaining why you're not that either. Patrons get early access to my videos and behind the scenes. Check that out if you're interested. Thank you everybody for watching. I've been TrebleKnight, and I'll catch you guys all next time.